This ranking is based on the Play Score, a standard rating that averages gamer reviews and critic reviews. Opening our list of top 25 PC horror games is Arizona Sunshine. A fitting title for a vibrant zombie survival game. Take yourself on a trip to the sunny Arizona deserts where a horde of rotting undead is ready to welcome you with open wounds. Luckily, you'll have a wide range of firearms to return the gesture. This first-person shooter is optimized for the virtual reality experience, and it's one of their finest releases yet. Explore its sun-soaked world, loot items, and experience the thrill of the infestation like never before. It has a play score of 8.15. Number 24 is Dying Light. Step into the open-world city of Harran and maneuver past its zombie-infested streets in the most creative ways. Though it's not the enhanced edition, this vanilla edition does enough to make it into our list. Dying Light puts you in the shoes of a man tasked to save the city from a spreading necrosis. Roam around the vast and vibrant city with your parkour skills and make use of the environment to eliminate the zombie threat. It has a play score of 8.16. Number 23 is Vampire: The Masquerade – Bloodlines. Vampires may not be everyone's cup of tea, but Vampire: The Masquerade's second installment has been changing minds and hearts since 2004. It retains its cult classic status and has been lauded by many as one of the best RPGs of all time. Despite the studio drama, the rush release, and its many bugs, Bloodlines offers a living and breathing underworld, very unlike their supernatural inhabitants. It's their top-notch writing that skyrocketed them into legends. Strike up conversations with charming NPCs and roam around their uniquely urban setting. It has a play score of 8.17. Number 22 is Condemned: Criminal Origins. Monolith Productions' 2005 survival horror is one of the most underrated gems in the genre. In its time, it's been lauded for its impressive graphics and creative jump scares. Take on the role of Ethan Thomas as he rummages through the city's condemned buildings in search of a serial killer on the loose. Released on Steam last 2012, the game manages to hold up against the test of time. It has a play score of 8.2. Number 21 is Fran Bow. Born out of an Indiegogo success, this point-and-click adventure serves us dread in their dark anti-Wonderland. After witnessing the gruesome murder of her parents, 10-year-old Fran Bow has struggled with a mental disorder. Stuck in the halls of the Oswald Asylum, she escapes to a ghastly parallel universe with the help of her medication. Watch the sprightly protagonist deal with her strange world and follow a story of loss and hope. It has a play score of 8.22. Number 20 is Layers of Fear. Art has had its fair share of casualties, but this game takes it to the next level. Control a disturbed painter as he is haunted by his dark past in the middle of his grandest piece of work. In his hallucinations, we witness his prolonged abuse of his family. Depending on your choices, Layers of Fear leads you to 3 different endings with varying repercussions. Paint yourself into a good ending or face the upsetting consequences. It has a play score of 8.23. Number 19 is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There's nothing like a terrifying horror game to ruin all our childhood memories. With the return of the traumatizing Five Nights at Freddy's, get ready to walk about in creepy hallways once again as murderous animatronic puppets lurk in the shadows. This time, they've welcomed a few new faces, and they're making you remember each of them. Get your batteries and your Freddy Fazbear head because you're in for a scary ride. It has a play score of 8.26. Number 18 is Dead Rising. This remaster brings a 2006 classic to the new generation with a whole new makeover. While it's brought some of its warts along with it, it hasn't managed to scratch the game's platinum shimmer. It was everything we love about the survival horror genre put in a mesmerizing open-world environment. Return to the shopping mall where it all began and fight off a mob of zombies as you rescue, investigate, and survive. It has a play score of 8.29. Number 17 is Little Nightmares. Go on an eerie yet endlessly charming journey in Tarsier Studios' platforming horror adventure. Together with a young Six and her yellow raincoat, escape the terrifying halls of the maw and avoid contact with her disfigured occupants. It's a dangerous and hauntingly exciting cat and mouse chase as you decode puzzles of each stage while dealing with the rising tensions of discovery. The game lends its success to its detailed environments, backed by their ever-ominous soundtrack. It has a play score of 8.34. Number 16 is Penumbra: Black Plague. The first of many frictional games on our list, and it's aptly one of their first ventures into video game horror. The second title in their episodic Penumbra series, it continues the story of Philip as he finds himself in an underground research facility. With less focus on combat and weapons creation, you'll have to rely on your slowly decaying wits to solve the world's various puzzles. Collect clues among the lab's frightening rooms and save your mind from the psychological terrors. It has a play score of 8.35. Number 15 is The Last Door, Season 2, Collector's Edition. Horror comes in all shapes, and this pixel point-and-click adventure is no different. One of the best indie gems of last year, The Last Door's second season takes you back to the candlelit environments of Victorian England. Guide the talented psychiatrist John Wakefield as he goes in search of a missing client and draws even closer to madness. This collector's edition includes 4 new episodes and some exclusive content to bring you closer to its characters and mysteries. It has a play score of 8.43. Number 14 is Killing Floor 2. Tripwire Interactive scores points across the board with their newest entry. Set a month after the events of the first game, humanity is in shambles and it's time for action. Get back into an improved Killing Floor packed with more weapons, maps, and modes. Not quite zombies anymore. Stave off waves after waves of mutated creatures formed after a deadly outbreak. For a game that used to be a mere Unreal Tournament mod, Killing Floor has truly come a long way. It has a play score of 8.43. Number 13 is Alien Isolation. As terrifying as the Alien movie series is, there's just nothing like experiencing the nightmarish terrors firsthand. Set 15 years after the events of 1979's Alien, you play as the daughter of Ellen Ripley as she investigates her mother's mysterious disappearance. Unlike the previous titles, Isolation puts a premium on stealth and survival. Crouch behind objects, sneak into vents, and do anything you can to avoid an extraterrestrial confrontation. It has a play score of 8.48. Number 12 is Stalker, Call of Pripyat. Explore the shadowy ruins of Earth's most catastrophic nuclear disaster in GSC Game World's radioactive third title. It brings us back to the post-apocalyptic wastelands of Ukraine, but this time, we make a move towards the divided city of Pripyat. Take on the role of Alex as he ventures to the outskirts of the Chernobyl power plant in a bid to uncover the mysterious helicopter disappearances in the zone. With its tense atmosphere and improved gameplay, it's remembered as the title that saved the entire franchise. It has a play score of 8.53. Number 11 is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Capcom's flagship horror title rises back to life after a 4-year hiatus. Step inside a Louisiana mansion in search for your missing wife and meet the lovely Baker family ready to serve you with a dose of murderous hospitality. With their shift to a first-person perspective, it'll be a new experience in terror that's more than your usual jump scares. Welcome yourself to the family and witness Capcom's sinister return to form. It has a play score of 8.53. Number 10 is The Walking Dead, a Telltale Games series. Telltale Games takes a step forward into their episodic formula as they bring you a whole new experience in survival horror. Journey along with Lee and Clementine as they team up to survive a slowly decaying world. This episodic franchise brings out 5 episodes worth of careful storytelling and important decision-making moments. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you might want to check this out. It has a play score of 8.56. Number 9 is The Cat Lady. Usually the laughingstock of pop culture, the cat ladies of the world would get their revenge in the form of this graphic psychological horror. As the neighborhood cat lady, Susan Ashworth takes her own life after a losing battle against depression. In death, she meets the Queen of the Maggots, who gives her a task that takes her through a mortifying roller coaster of events. Dealing with themes of depression, suicide, and murder, it's as disturbing as it is emotional. It has a play score of 8.58. Number 8 is Slay Away Camp. Don your favorite skull mask and play the killer in this puzzle game doused in classic slasher tropes. Set in the voxel 80s, travel to a remote summer camp and do your best to murder each and every annoying teenager in your sight. Like your traditional movie serial killer, be quick, fast, and conniving as you navigate through tricky maps and use the environment to your advantage. Simple but incredibly addicting, it has a play score of 8.62. Number 7 is Amnesia Dark Descent. There's nothing better than watching someone get scared shitless over a video game. And hundreds of YouTube players streaming Amnesia gave us just that. It was one of the stepping stones of YouTube gaming, and it rightly deserves its spot on our list. muster up the most of your courage, and enter a creepy castle with only a lantern in hand. With no means of fighting back, your only hope is to run. It's one of Frictional Games' most successful entries yet, and it receives a play score of 8.62. Number 6 is Fear. Scoring high marks during its initial release, Monolith's spine-tingling masterpiece was once compared to the grandeur of Half-Life 2. If Half-Life 2 had less aliens, more gory supernatural horrors. Play as the point man of the deadly Fear Squad and uncover a mystery that involves a little girl. It's a game that challenges you to overcome your fears. Engage in a hardcore shoot fest with these paranormal presents and use your time-bending powers to unleash hell on Earth. It has a play score of 8.63. Number 5 is Outlast, the first installment in Red Barrel's critically acclaimed survival horror series. They begin the pants-shitting adventure with the investigative journalist Miles Upshur, who investigates a rundown psychiatric hospital and unwittingly signs himself up for disaster. Run around their decaying halls and use stealth tactics to escape their homicidal occupants. It has a play score of 8.66. Number 4 is Soma. From the developers of Amnesia, Frictional Games' latest take on horror takes you to the realm of neurocognitive science. In Soma, you follow a man as he deals with the repercussions of a recent brain surgery. Transported to a subterranean facility, find out the mystery of your other consciousness, and avoid from the creeping humanoids. It's a sci-fi survival horror that leaves a lasting impression due to its impressive ending and thought-provoking themes. It has a play score of 8.69. Number 3 is Dead Space 2. Travel to the isolating silence of an infected space station in Visceral Games' critically acclaimed sequel. Take control of your favorite space engineer, Isaac Clarke, as he struggles to survive in the middle of a deadly necromorph outbreak. A lone survivor spiraling into madness uses plasma guns to eviscerate necromorphs limb by precious limb. It was an improvement on the first Dead Space game, and it exceeded everyone's expectations. It has a play score of 8.7. Number 2 is Detention. A different take on the genre, this Taiwanese production shows why Asia is the master of cinematic horror. Veering away from the usual gory jump scares, Detention will send tingles up your spine with eerily realistic imagery and disturbing themes. It weaves a somber tale of two students trapped in a Greenwood high school after the events of Taiwan's White Terror. Guided by the smart narratives, beautiful designs, and intricate puzzles, help these two students find reprieve amidst the traumatizing creatures of East Asian myth. It has a play score of 8.74. And the best PC horror game of all time is Left 4 Dead 2. Released in 2009, Valve's epic sequel to the equally award-winning first title has remained in relevance after all these years. But no matter how intimidating the tanks are or how chilling the cries of the witch are, Left 4 Dead 2 isn't remembered for the horror, but for their superior co-op experience. Its hassle-free, easy-to-pick-up formula still stands today, and it's enjoyed by millions of players around the world. With randomized maps, campaigns, and silly game modes, the fun never stops. It has a play score of 9.05. You may get these games right now by clicking the links below.